So this determination and willpower is actually the most required skill in our life, isn't it? He could see nothing but water. Wherever he saw, it was only water, water, water. Okay, so he started learning swimming with the help of an instructor. So the author tells about his childhood fear about water and how he deals with it, how he overcomes that fear. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to all the young minds of Class 12 Cbse. I am Dr. Shalini, your English teacher at Prep School. Welcome to the session. Today we are here to discuss one of the lessons from your Flamingo textbook, that is Deep Water. We'll be understanding the summary as well as the new words that are there in this lesson. So why delay? Let us begin our session. Let us first understand what is there in today's session. We are going to understand about the author first. Okay, we need to know about the author first. Then we will understand the theme of the story. Next, we'll move on to the summary. At last, we will understand the new words and phrases that are used in this lesson. Okay, so let us start by understanding the author first. So here is the author. He is William Douglas. Okay, so he was an American jurist. He was an advocate of individual rights. He was actually nominated by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Okay, so he was actually very famous for his travel writings. He used to write it as a travelogue. Okay, and his autobiography, that is Of Men and Mountains, okay, so from which this lesson is chosen also. This lesson is one of the chapters in his autobiography Of Men and Mountains. Okay, so it is his autobiography and here he shares his childhood memories. Okay, so he narrates it in his own way. So this is all about the author. I would like you to go through the author over Google. Okay, so let us now go to the theme of the story. It's actually a very interesting story and it's going to give you a wonderful experience. Maybe you also might have experienced such a situation in your life. So you will recall that if at all you have experienced. Okay, so here he tells us about the childhood fear of Douglas. Okay, so the author tells about his childhood fear about water and how he deals with it, how he overcomes that fear. Okay, so one of the misadventures at YMCA pool actually developed an aversion towards water in this author's mind. Okay, so how he suffered from that and how he overcomes that is all about this lesson. Okay, so this story actually focuses on the fact that childhood fears should not be treated lightly. Okay, so whatever happens in childhood that actually stays for a very long time, it stays almost for the lifetime. Okay, so that is what the author tells about here. Okay, so let us now understand the summary of the story. Okay, so this is a very short story and I'm just giving you the summary, but I would want you to read the story. It is whatever I'm telling you, it is just like a guide for you to read the story. Okay, so wherever you feel you don't understand, you can come back to the recorded lecture and then read the story. You will be understanding it better. Okay, so what does the author tell us about in the story? He tells us about the fear of water, as I told you before, the fear of water he had and how he conquered it with determination and willpower. Okay, so this determination and willpower is actually the most required skill in our life, isn't it? So whatever you want to do, it has to have determination, but the degree of determination and the degree of willpower varies depending on the job you do, depending on the work you do. Okay, so determination and willpower is required in everyday life also. So here also the author had to overcome a fear that is regarding of water. So he also had to determine himself. He also had that willpower to overcome that. Okay, so how does the story start? So the story starts with the narration of experience by William Douglas. Okay, so he was a child and he would go to beach as many of us used to do with our parents. Okay, so he also used to go with his father to the beach. There and all, he was not at all scared of water. Okay, so he used to enjoy in the beach just like any other child would do. Okay, so he used to go to the beach, he used to get wet and also he used to enjoy that beach water and also he used to enjoy with his father. Okay, but something happened when he experienced that beach life. He wanted to learn swimming also. Okay, so what does he do for that? He actually was very eager to learn swimming, so he goes and joins to a swimming pool, that is YMCA swimming pool. Okay, So he goes there and he joins there. He was very eager. He was thinking that yes, he would learn swimming very easily because he is already used to water and he wanted to enjoy, he wanted to learn swimming also. So he joins to that place there, YMCA swimming pool. So many years he actually had stayed away from water. That is because there was one incident that had happened in this swimming pool. Okay, so what did he do? What happened there? So one day what happened, he just went for swimming, and that actually that swimming pool was not quite deep. As the distance went on, the depth also increased. So he was actually just like a normal child, he was learning swimming. But one day, one of the seniors, he just entered and he was huge in his appearance. He was elder to this child. Okay, so he just came and he saw this child. He was very skinny also. He was not very, like, he didn't have good growth also, this author. So what he did, he just that elder student, he just took him and threw him into the water in such a force that he actually went under the water. He could see nothing but water. Wherever he saw, it was only water, water, water. Okay, so he was almost drowned, and he thought, yes, once he was determined that once he touches the floor of that swimming pool, he'll just push and he'll come up. But that didn't happen. He didn't go and touch only. Okay, so next time again he tried. Again he was drowned actually. Like as you come up, you drown again, right? If you don't know the skill of breathing, you get drowned again. So again he goes down. He was expecting to reach the floor again. So finally he touches the floor. Yes, he wanted to just push and he thought he can just jump just like he used to do on the floor. But what happened? He came up very slowly. Okay, in water movement is very slow, you know that, right? So he came up very slowly. That expectation, whatever expectation he had, things didn't work out according to that. So he came up very slowly. Again he took in water. He had to gobble water. Again he went down. This happened 2-3 times. Okay, so wherever he saw, it was only yellow liquid. That is, the color of water for him was appearing yellow. So he could not get any support. He was actually just moving his hands and legs to get some support, but wherever you see, it was water. He had no support, nothing, and he was almost drowned. So he was thinking, like, wherever I see, it is only water. So he thought, yes, his life is over, and he just closed his eyes. It was so, he was feeling very calm when he was closing his eyes. He was thinking he is almost dead. He thought, yes, sleeping is better than fighting to come out of this water. He just thought that, and he faints inside the water only. Then when he opened his eyes, he was out of the swimming pool. Okay, he was out of the swimming pool. He was actually coughing and he was putting all the water out of his mouth, out of his stomach. Okay, so he heard many people around him talking about him only. So one of them was scolding that elder student for having thrown him into the water. So finally, he was okay. He could get up and sit. But that elder student, he didn't expect this to happen. He thought he knew swimming and he would come up very easily. And yes, that was an unexpected incident. That was a misadventure. And this had created a huge fear in the author's mind. Okay, then finally he got up and left for his home. He was actually trembling. He went back home and he started crying in his bed, and he couldn't eat properly for days together. And that fear had created a lot of fear in his mind, and that incident has created a lot of fear in his mind, and that is the reason he stayed out of water for many years. Finally, one day he felt that, yes, I should overcome this fear of water, because whenever he went for fishing, whenever he went to see the beach side, whenever he went, wherever he went, this incident would be recalled by his mind. Okay, so every time he used to feel he should come far away from water. This incident had created a kind of hydrophobia in the author's mind. So he stayed away from water for many years, but he had the desire to overcome this fear. So somehow he wanted to overcome. So he was determined now. Okay, at this age now he was determined. This incident happened when he was 7 or 11 years old, 7 to 11 years, that year's gap. Okay, so that time it had happened. So now he is grown up and he is a teenager. So now he wanted to overcome this fear. So he started learning swimming with the help of an instructor. Okay, so what did that instructor do? He actually tied a belt around his waist and he tied a rope also. Till the end of the swimming pool, he tied the rope and he used to leave him for swimming. Okay, he used to go forth and come back. Okay, so he used to swim that side and he used to come back, and all this he used to do with the help of a rope only. Okay, so somehow the instructor released the rope. He used to loosen the rope so that he'll go a little deeper, and that fear again would come back and his legs would be paralyzed. Okay, he wouldn't move his legs at all. Okay, so that way he again the fear used to come back. Okay, so it was not his body that was experiencing fear, but it was his mind which was experiencing fear. So here what happened now? He actually experienced this fear, that legs went paralyzed. Then again the instructor used to pull him back. So this way he boosted him mentally and physically, and he actually loosened the rope. He used to give him lot of practice. From 1 hour to 4 hours he started practicing. Hour after hour his fear used to come down. Okay, so this is what was happening. So then somehow he managed to learn swimming. Maybe 3 to 6 months he took in order to learn swimming completely. So then now he was afraid of going alone into the swimming pool. Okay, so he was thinking now with the instructor, because there is somebody to save me. I don't have that fear of getting drowned because there is nobody to save me. But since this instructor is there, I'm not scared of that. So I'm able to go to the swimming pool easily. But if at all the instructor is not there, then what would have happened? The author says that I'm still scared to get into the water alone, he says. Okay, so again, what happens? So one day he gets into the water, that is into the swimming pool, without the help of an instructor. Okay, the instructor was not around there. So he gets into the water and he was able to do it. He had conquered his fear. Okay, so he was satisfied that he was able to conquer the fear, and he tried it in the river also. Okay, so he was very successful and he went to the river to swim. He actually shouted that, yes, I was able to do it. Success, he shouts. Then actually that echoes, and that gives him lot of enthusiasm to overcome that fear again. Okay, so in this way the author actually overcomes his fear. Okay, so he challenges his fear in the face of it, and it would finally vanish. Okay, so William actually realized that death is peaceful. Death is actually peaceful, but the fear of the terror of death, okay, the way you are scared of death is what actually conquers you. Okay, so that is actually more terrorizing. That is what is actually more painful. Okay, people die, but the fear of death is what actually causes the fear in them. So that is what William realizes. And he also gives a message to the readers that childhood fears should not be taken lightly. It is an advice to the parents also. So whatever happens in the childhood, make sure you bring your children out of that fear as soon as possible, if at all an incident has happened. Okay, so make sure that such incidents do not happen. But if at all it has happened, but you have to bring out the children out of that fear very quickly. Okay, so if not, it is actually going to last lifelong. So that is what the author is giving a message over here. So this was the summary of this lesson. Okay, so let us now understand the new words that are there in this lesson. Okay, so here are a few new words, and there is a mention of Yakima over here. Okay, so Yakima is a place in Washington, USA. Okay, that's a place near a river also. Okay, so that is a place. Then next we have treacherous, that is dangerous. Okay, here the author uses this word when he is talking about the river. Okay, so that is very dangerous river, he says. Okay, so next we have subdued, means to overcome. So he is telling about the overcoming of fear. Okay, so that is what the meaning of subdued is. Then aversion, dislike. You have an aversion towards sweets means you dislike sweets. Okay, so author uses this word when he talks about the aversion towards water. Okay, so he develops an aversion towards water. He starts disliking water is the meaning of it. Then we have aping, copying. So here the author uses this when he is talking about the people in the swimming pool. Okay, so he wanted to copy the elders and he wants to learn swimming there. Okay, so that is where it is used. Then we have this bruiser. He is a person with tough and aggressive mentality. Okay, he enjoys argument and fighting. Okay, so here he uses it when he is talking about the elder student who came and who threw him into the water, literally threw him. Okay, so he is called as a bruiser. Then bob is to jump. He uses this word when he is talking about him reaching the floor of the swimming pool when he is drowned and he wanted to bob from there, when he wanted to jump from the floor. He just wanted to press his feet and jump to the upper level of the water. So there he uses this word bob. Okay. So then we have flailed. It is not failed, it is flailed. Okay, so he used to wave his hand, like whenever he is swimming and he's looking for support, right? He's drowning, so that time he used to flail his hand. Okay, so that is called as flailing, waving his hand for support. That is called as flailing. At last it is choked. Choke means you already know, you must be using it commonly, right? Choke means you cannot breathe, and that is difficult to breathe, difficulty in breathing. That is called as choking. Okay, so you'll not be able to take your breath inside or put your breath outside. So that is called as choking. Okay, so that's all for today. We have reached the end of this session. So what I would suggest you is to go back to your Flamingo, read this lesson and enjoy the writing of William Douglas. Okay, so this is all about deep water. Okay, so that's all for today. Let us meet again in our next session. That is another poem from your Flamingos. So keep your textbook ready with you when you come to the live class. Have a pencil so that I can clear your doubts then and there. So thank you so much, children. See you soon. Till then, keep learning. Bye-bye.